Vancouver has decided to have the appearance of spring without the temperature of spring, and so I wanted to wear the clothing that told me that it actually is the temperature of spring, but I'm cold, so I'll be wearing this for the remainder of this video. 2 months ago, I purchased Knix underwear, which are the period panties or period underwear. I talked about it a good bit on my Instagram, so if you don't already follow me there, be sure and do that, because I do these kind of conversations far in advance from when I actually do the video, because I wanted to try them out for a little while before I gave any kind of review on them. I'm finally getting to do a video on the period underwear. I'll link down below the pairs that I purchased. I got two kinds. I want to say one was like just the leak proof and one was the super leak proof. I just wanted to give a little bit of my thoughts and opinions given my experience with them so far. This pair is the leak proof, and so it's kind of a, like, I think they have a like 5 leak proof scale and this one is the 3 of 5. And this one, you can see the inside portion is from here to here, and pretty much these ones I would say are kind of, the way I use them is like a liner to like a very light pad. If you watch my previous video, I use a menstrual cup as like my primary period product. But I no longer wanted to keep buying liners because I was wearing them not only throughout my period, but I tend to wear them a lot throughout the rest of the month as well, just either in case of a period or just in general for any kind of flowing that may occur. These are fantastic. They're very light and thin, so like I got a light color, which at first I thought I was kind of crazy for, but I do like it because I have one white pair of pants and I can wear these underneath and there's no fear of anything coming through. Yeah, so these are fantastic. They just came out with like a cotton version, so if I got more I'd probably do that, but I got 2 of these and 1 of the thicker pair just because I wanted to get some experience and practice with it before investing in more, because I will say Knix is one of the cheaper ones that I have personally found, but they're still by no means a cheap purchase. Buying the menstrual cup was definitely a much cheaper investment up front. So during my period, it was very useful. I liked the thinner ones. They worked very well on like a lighter flow or with the menstrual cup. And this heavier one worked really well on its own without the menstrual cup. Here, I can show you. This one's black, so it's a little bit harder to see because the insert is also black. But this is the length of the insert portion that is absorbent. Keep thinking someone's at the door. That was weird. A little bit longer. It's obviously a little bit thicker. Some people expect that these will feel fully like just a regular pair of underwear, but I mean, you can expect that it's going to feel a little bit thicker than that because it's got like an inserted pad essentially. And this one you definitely feel it a lot more than with a thinner one, simply because it's more absorbent and so it has like more in it. Both pairs are really nice. I tend to reach for these a lot more just on a day-to-day level, and then this one is more of like if I'm really crampy and don't want to put the menstrual cup in, this is a great substitute for that, for those like very period cramp days. As far as like washing and taking care of it and stuff, I only own 3 pairs like I mentioned, and if I was going to use these more frequently, which I plan to since I've stopped purchasing liners and I don't have any more of them at this point in time, unless you're doing laundry on like a daily basis, 3 just is not gonna cut it. This was just for me to be able to kind of try it out. I didn't want to invest a lot of money in it if it wasn't a product that worked well, but it is, so I plan on purchasing more when I have the funds available. As far as how to clean them and everything, the way that I had been doing it is if it's just like normal discharge and stuff like that, hold on. Ooh. The bras that I purchased from Knix came with these little mesh bags, and you can totally get these at any store. So if I've just used them, I just throw it in here and then I put it in the wash, and then I take it out of this to dry it just out instead of putting it in the drying machine, because it can shorten the life of how long these last, and because it is a bit of an investment up front, I would rather just air dry these, which is part of the reason that it's harder to keep up with them, because it's not just like, oh, throw it into the laundry and then throw it in the dryer. It takes some time to air dry. And then this one, or really either of them, if I've bled in it, I don't want it just sitting waiting to be washed in case it's a couple days or whatever. And so what I will do is I'll run it under cold water until it's at least somewhat clear, and then kind of like you would if you stained, like, if you know, you know, but if you stain your clothing with your blood, then you just like rub cold water or soap or something like that, and usually that gets the stain out. Kind of the same way, I just try to get as much of the blood out as possible, and then I just hang it to dry, and then when it's time to finally wash it, same deal, I just throw it in here and throw it in the wash like this. Just do it on a cold cycle with the rest of my clothing. Smooth. And then air dry and they're good to go. And it's so far been great. Overall, I think it's a great product and I highly recommend them. I probably will be investing in some more, maybe the cotton ones. I know, again, there are a lot of other brands, so if you have used other period underwear brands, definitely leave them below because others may benefit from knowing of other options. This is just what I purchased, again, because it was what I found to be on the more inexpensive side, and I really do love the Knix bras, and so I already kind of trusted the brand, and so I was willing to invest the money in it. Because I will say one thing that I don't love about the Knix underwear is that it's a final sale. So even if you don't like it, there is no getting your money back or anything like that, which kind of stinks. I know some brands, I think Knix underwear does it, where there is like a money back guarantee. Knix does that for the bras, but not for period panties. And so in that sense, it is a little bit of a bummer. So I really wanted to be sure that I liked them. And I didn't want to invest a lot of money up front in case I didn't. If you are someone who likes to use pads, then kind of the heavier ones are definitely worthwhile. They have tons of options for types of underwear. Like I tend to like just like the bikini kind, but if you like them a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, more coverage, less coverage, things like that, they have tons of options. So definitely check that out. Again, some people expected it to be a lot like bigger of an area, but I did find compared to a ads, I wouldn't say that this is a lot less coverage, especially the 3 out of 5, the just leak proof one. That one's definitely a lot wider than your typical liner would be, and that's kind of what I'm using it to replace. So it's actually more coverage than I would typically have, so I've really enjoyed that. The bigger one, yeah, I mean, it could be longer, but I would say it compares quite well to your typical pad. Depending on how heavy your flow is, I'm sure you might have to buy more pairs, because depending on your flow, it's going to like fill up, and just like a pad, you'll feel like the wetness of it. I think people expect too much from these a little bit, because I was reading the reviews and some people were saying, oh, like they feel a little bit damp and things like that. And just like you would be when you're sitting on a pad, it's not going to feel perfectly dry, because it's not. But overall, I would say that this is a great replacement for someone who prefers pads. Like I said, it is a little bit more of a financial investment up front compared to options like menstrual cups and things like that, because that's one purchase, whereas this is going to be multiple, and they run from, I've seen like $20 to $40 for one pair of these kind of underwear. Knix does have a buy 3 get 15% off, and theirs are on the cheaper end of the spectrum from what I have found. So take that as you may. I really haven't had that much experience with it, but so far in the 2 months I've used it as much as I can, whether it be my period or not my period, just because, like I said, I used to wear liners almost every day, and I just didn't find that to be sustainable. And then also, they don't tend to be like great quality. They tend to get like a little wrinkled and crinkled, and just they don't stay in place very well. So I really wanted to get something that was a more sustainable option, as well as just worked functionally better. This has been great for me so far. If you have any more specific questions that you'd like me to go into greater detail in a future video, please let me know. I like talking about this kind of stuff, and I hope it helps you out. If you have some experience, some brand recommendations, definitely leave those below, and we can kind of help each other out. Like I said before, be sure and follow me on Instagram so we can keep this conversation going, and then subscribe and ring the bell or press the bell so that you don't miss future videos. And I do read your comments, so if you have specific video desires or preferences, definitely leave those below as well, because it helps me make content that you guys enjoy. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Am I clear? I feel like my face is not clear. Am I clear now? Take 3. Please, my face be clear.